Imagine you're sitting across from a man who's worth hundreds of millions. He's calm, polite, he looks like someone's eccentric uncle. But behind those blinking eyes and awkward stammers, he's hiding bodies. Literally. This is the story of Robert Durst, the real estate heir who got away with murder until a documentary caught him slipping. And when I say slipping, I mean he walked into a bathroom, forgot his mic was still on, and literally confessed to everything. Let me take you back. Robert Durst was born into ridiculous wealth. His family owned some of the most expensive properties in New York. Skyscrapers, condos. Durst money touches everything. But Bob? He didn't want the family business. He wanted to disappear, live off-grid, dress in drag, and, apparently, kill people. The first red flag? His wife, Kathleen McCormack, bright, beautiful. She was in med school, full of life. Until 1982, when she vanished into thin air. No one could find her, no body, no signs of a struggle. And Bob, he just said she left. That's it, case cold. Her friends were suspicious. Her family was begging for answers. And Bob? He lawyered up and never looked back. Now, let's talk about Susan. Susan Berman was Bob's best friend, a fiery writer from LA born to a mob family. She was also his alibi. She covered for him when Kathy went missing. She even answered the phone, pretending to be Kathy, days after she was probably already dead. And then, years later, just as police were reopening the case, Susan is found execution-style in her home. Shot in the back of the head. No forced entry, no robbery, nothing stolen, just dead. And who just happened to be in LA at the time? Yep, Bob. By the way, if you've made it this far into the story, first of all, props. Second, if you're into real-life mysteries that feel like movie plots, consider hitting that like button and subscribing. It's totally free, and it helps way more than you think. All right, back to the madness. Fast forward to 2001. Bob's now living in Galveston, Texas, but not as Bob. He's pretending to be a mute woman, wearing wigs, talking to no one. Why? Because he knows the law's getting close. But then he does the dumbest thing. His neighbor, Morris Black, turns up dead. Not just dead, dismembered. Head in one bag, arms in another. The kind of crime that screams rage or panic. And Bob, he admits it. He tells the court, yeah, I chopped him up, but it was self-defense. And somehow, he walks. He gets acquitted. Because the jury believed his story. Rich man, sad eyes, shaky voice. They didn't see a killer. They saw a victim of circumstance. Now here's where it gets unbelievable. A filmmaker named Andrew Jarecki starts working on a fictional movie inspired by Bob. He even casts Ryan Gosling to play him. That's when Bob, the real Bob, calls him, says he loved the film, and then like a total sociopath says, "Want to do a documentary? I'll tell you everything." So they start filming. Dozens of interviews, years of digging. But Bob thinks he's smarter than everyone in the room, until he makes a fatal mistake. During one interview, they show Bob a letter. It's a note sent to the police after Susan Berman's murder. It says, cadaver. 1520 Benedict Canyon. But the creepy part? The handwriting, and even the misspelling of Beverly Hills, is identical to a letter Bob wrote years earlier. He stares at it. He freezes, eyes darting, voice shaking. And for the first time he knows he's cornered. They wrap up the interview. Bob goes to the bathroom. And then, he starts mumbling to himself, not realizing his microphone is still recording. And he says, "What the hell did I do?" Killed them all, of course. Those 7 words exploded across every headline. The quiet, stuttering millionaire had just confessed to multiple murders. In a documentary, with cameras rolling. The moment that aired, the FBI arrested him the very next day, at a hotel in New Orleans, with a fake ID, cash, and a loaded gun. Like he knew the end was coming. Robert Durst was finally convicted in 2021, nearly 40 years after Kathy disappeared. And before he could be tried for her murder, he died behind bars in early 2022. Here's the part that sticks with me. Bob wasn't some shadowy serial killer hiding in the woods. He was having brunch in Manhattan, He walked the streets in disguise. He laughed with friends. He used his money, his name, and his awkward charm to dodge justice for decades, until the mic stayed on. And for once, he talked too much.